Hi, I'm Karen McCarthy, and it's time to Karen-ize. Today's Wednesday when we talk about spiritual health, and today I want to do kind of a self-improvement kind of talking about what's between here. Uh, I think it was 2012 I wrote this book, and don't let the title mislead you. Don't toot in a tanning bed, and other life lessons God taught me. It's a serious topic, but with a lot of humor put in, because I can't do anything totally seriously. But it talks about the connection between what comes out of our mouth and our mind and our heart. And it starts at our heart, goes to our mind, and then comes out our mouth. And it's amazing how many Bible verses, if you look, those three are connected almost all the time when they're talked about. So I want to kind of talk about the mind thing and how we can kind of counteract the negative things that that bombard us externally and that we bombard ourselves with, and what the Bible has to say about our mind. So I've been reading a couple of books, and I'm kind of just partway through both of them. This one is called Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen, and it talks about stopping the spiral of toxic thoughts, and really goes into Philippians, where Philippians talks about, well, I'll just read it to you. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. If we fill our minds with those kinds of things, it's transformative. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then this one by Joan Robison is called Flip the Switch, and it just talks about different things that we can do to kind of transform our life and our thinking to more positive things. And one of the things that she really goes through is fear, whatever kinds of fears we have. And I don't mean like fear of the dark or whatever, but fear that's holding us back from like stepping into our God-assigned destiny because we either don't think we're worth it or we don't think we have the skills or whatever. But it's a great book on kind of changing that mind frame. So let me read you a couple more. I can't talk today. In Romans 12:2, it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So often we let external things, external voices, or even an internal voice that's influenced by external things hold us back. And we kind of give in to things because it's easier, or we don't step into things that God is asking us to do. And we need to realize that God doesn't call us because we're qualified. He qualifies us because we're called. So if you feel like he's calling you to do something that is scary, that's a good thing, because he will give you what you need to accomplish that when he's the one who's initiating it. In Proverbs 4:23, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And that goes back to my book. What starts in the heart goes to the mind and comes out the mouth, or our actions. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Now, in Get Out of Your Head, she talks a lot about take those thoughts captive right away. If you don't, I remember, I've talked before about I had something happen a couple of years ago with a friend that just knocked me flat on my behind, emotionally and spiritually. And if I had stopped some of those thoughts right away instead of dwelling in them, sometimes wondering why someone acts or treats you the way you do, it can be a good thing. I mean, I went through some self-discovery and realized some things that had been going on with me that weren't attractive and weren't fun to be around. And so I learned, and I'm still working on changing those, because habits are hard to change and they have become habits. But if I had looked at the positive side, the learning side of that, instead of the why did she do that to me, what did I do, why did I deserve this, that kind of thing, and then you start wallowing and going down. And Satan loves to take us down, so he will take those things and expand on them and have us dwell on them that puts us into that spiral that she talks about, where if we can stop that initially and say, stop, okay, that happened. What can I learn from that? What can I change to do differently? How can I make things better in the future? And start looking at it from a positive way. We don't let him take us down. There's like this stop, and he can't take us down anymore. And he'll try. Anytime you try to change something, I tell kids when they were being bullied, when you start changing your reaction that they're getting, which is what they want from bullying, when you start changing that reaction, they'll get worse for a while because they're used to being able to get through you. So you need to keep doing it to stop, because they'll keep pushing. And if you let them push you down, then it will just get worse. But if you can stop that, then that spiral won't happen. So the same thing with bullying in our thoughts, bullying from other people and through our own thinking can cause us to go on that downward spiral. So I want to encourage you, press into God. Remember to replace those negative thoughts with something positive. If someone's saying unkind things about you, sure, take a look. Is there any truth to that? But then say, you know what? This is what God says about me. I am his child. I was made in his image. I am made perfect through Christ. That doesn't mean we're perfect, but we become more and more perfect, and God sees us as perfect. So strive every day to become more and more like Christ. Fine-tune your personality, but don't let those negative thoughts and the bombardment that we get from the external world. And it doesn't even have to be someone saying anything. It can just be comparing ourselves to, like for women, comparing ourselves to those beautiful, perfect models who actually are probably pretty airbrushed or surgically enhanced or starving themselves, or, whatever we think that is something to aspire to, but it's actually not a healthy thing in the long run. So hope that makes sense, and have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you next time.